Broadcasting live to you, and very soon we'll activate the phone lines. You do know that the BECE conversation is also on. We're told that the biggest number in the history of the Republic of Ghana to have had their results withheld has been from the last BECE. Not about anything.
I've heard it being said that I should be careful. Many of these people voted for me, and if I continue this exercise, perhaps they will not vote for me again. If by the grace of God I'm in a position, my party allows me to go again, and I have the health and everything to go again, that I'll not get it again. And I'll say to myself, well, this is a choice that all of us have to make as human beings. You do what you think is right, or do you do what you think will allow you to get along? I think that you do what you think is right. That is what you're required to do. Fortunately for me, in this fight, I have great allies. First of all, within my government. The people who are in the front line of that, all of them are here. The Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. The Minister for Water Resources and Sanitation. Eminent Ghanaians, responsible Ghanaians, who have gone out of their way to lead this crusade. But from the beginning, they said something which is the reason why you're here today. We cannot win this fight without the support of the traditional authorities of our country.
3FM 92.7.
Any serious social mobilization of Ghana since time immemorial, if you're not involved, it doesn't happen. If you, the chiefs of our country, are not involved, it doesn't happen.
Accra gets busy on this frequency. 92.7 3FM.
Brofo, Obroni, I'll United Kingdom and United States, you know. You won't know Brofo and Waka. If you know about them, what the camera for? Where are some bro? Brofo, we team, Yaka. Now, some you crass some will become Brofo. I create what yard you. A good for the bar for Frano. Who's seen a Brofo for that? President will come Brofo, any and any at home. Some of you, Brofo, Obroni, I'll be United Kingdom and United States, you know. You won't know Brofo and Waka. If you know about them, what the camera for?
Minimum, you don't want super. Egua, Numframa, Ayade, Ayadu, First Lady Kasa. Ne Kasa Kakra, ne camera no Abaguyasu.
3FM 92.7.
Madam Lordina say, founder. Sir, and that a boom nim. Indeed, waiting now, but dynamic. There be a boom in New York. Tamangaza, a Daniel Sem, Semikaza Zua, not Daniel Sem. Sir, where was Zaneto? Or Wabuena, so a person was there, Diana, you Papa Becca. Your friend Osulagata. Anyway,
Papa J, may he rest in peace.
Yokohama, cocaine, and Jaguar. Sick running man and Asa don't walk to fire, Bobo Boswell. Mr. Kofi Kongos and Obet Show was here. Masagua would do give me one ground, Obedia. Ha, what can I remember my minute papa?
Party. Helen will tell us all about it. The white party. Sometime in December, eh?
Oh,
You
yes.
have to get your white
You
clothing.
need to
Get
ready.
No. Then you need to know it's political language.
You're right. You're right.
You have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
Be prepared to put
be
your white
prepared
outfit
to-
on
yes,
the line.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
be
it has to
prepared
there.
for
Yes,
that.
You're white.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. If it is dirty, soak it. Bleach
Start
it.
now.
Iron it.
Now.
Put it down.
Now.
Prepare it.
Thank you.
You understand?
And then you iron it. You hang it.
hang it, put it in a nice wardrobe or plastic and wait. Because in December. Oh, white party. Yeah.
No, I don't think those at the back head you.
White.
I don't think those at the back head you.
No, all
I don't
white,
think those
all
at
white.
the back head you.
WHITE. White. Some say white.
Shite. All shite party.
White party.
December 28th.
December 28th. Charlie.
December 28th. Listen, even if you have decided to get married on that day, change your date.
Change your date, please. We'll find you another date.
Change your date.
Convenient enough. You can even come and have your wedding reception there. Don't worry. We'll host you. But all you need to do is to get your white clothing ready. Yeah. We have tables available for you, and singles can also come in there. Yeah, it can come in as couples, right?
Oh, this is you have trouble. You can come in your three
friends.
Three friends, three parties.
You can partner and buy a table.
Thank you. Come together. Boys, girls. Happening again on the 28th of December at the beautiful La Palm Royal Beach, 7 p.m. sharp. So dress to impress in your finest all-white attire and be part of the ultimate celebration of the season. There's going to be live music performances from some of the hottest artists in Ghana. Talk about fantastic DJs.
DJ Abiam, one.
Talk about that.
DJ Faculty, two. DJ
We've got DJ Phil, three. Oh.
DJ Waps, four. DJ Helen, 5.
Oh, we have DJ William here as well. Oh,
DJ
forget
Willie,
about
6.
it. Forget about it. I said, read my lips.
Read my lips.
You don't want to miss out on the 3FM
of December,
all-white party. Thank you.
All-white party is going to be the official shutdown party. You don't want this. What else do you want? And what are the numbers to call quickly?
All right, so 2 numbers, 053 11 00 927. Alternatively, 053 22 00 927. Call those numbers. Get your table reservations today. I don't want to till the last minute. Can I get a table? What can I do without? No, bro, for my brains will not save you. Call those numbers. One more time for those at the back. 053 11 00 927. Very simple. 053 22 00 927.
That's it. And then you're ready for the all-white party. We want to see you there, party in style. Let's shut down 2023 in grand styling. Now forget your troubles. Come, let's wear white. White shows purity. Shows that you are strong. Clean. Oh, come out in your number. And for all these tables, it could be for you and your family, you and your work colleagues, a boss who, you have a small company, you have a company of, let's say, 8-9 staff, you are the boss, and get a table of 10 and share. Bond, it should be your own bonding for the year, and also to get ready for the next year, 2024. Because 2024, dear, there will be a showdown, but before the showdown, there will be a showtime. That's it. You are duly invited. And I'm sure by now you do know that the West Africa Examinations Council has released the provisional results of the candidates who sat for the 2023 basic education exam. However, unfortunately, 22,270 candidates in certain subjects are being scrutinized for reported cases of mass cheating. Mass cheating. Divine is a senior program officer, Africa Education. Divine, good morning. Thank you very much. How are you doing?
Good morning. Doing good yourself?
Greater than Accra. So this mass failure, or if you like, the results that have been withheld, does it come to you as a surprise? Mass cheating.
Okay, good morning to your listeners. For me, it's not surprising, and I think it's even better if you look at the previous record. For us, we see it as an improvement in the previous year. For instance, if you look at the cancellation of subject results, last year the number was 416, and this year it is 312. And then if you look at the withhold subject results, last year it was 73, and this year it was 41. So quite improvement on the figure. We've seen quite some low figure compared to last year and other previous years. So it's not surprising that we are still seeing subject results being cancelled or withheld because of issues of irregularities. And generally, our monitoring even of the BECE also revealed that to a greater extent there have been limited issues of irregularities compared to previous years. So for us, we look at the figure and we think it's an improvement. And if we are able to strengthen our assessment system more, we'll be able to address some of these issues to a greater extent.
I am concerned about the huge numbers. And for me, at that young age, Why would they think of cheating? Is it something that you would say has been imbibed into a moral fiber, or this is just one of those things, or something that has been with us since Adam?
Yeah, it is something that has been within our system for a very long time. And for us, we think that because there has been lack of accountability demand from citizens on the part of the persons that are in charge of the assessment, in this case, WAEC, over the years, this issue has been allowed to fester over the years. So I believe because we are seeing heightened interest in the assessment process at both the BECE and then the WASI level. So we're seeing WAEC also coming up with some of innovative ways to address some of these issues. So it's because we have all over the years relaxed on some of these occurrences. We all don't seem to pay much attention to it. We sit and once a year the results are released and we discuss the irregularities and the end there, and we don't demand accountability from WAEC. We have allowed the issue to fester over the year. That's why at EduWatch, for the past 3 years, we have made it our job to be monitoring the WASI and then the BECE and be reporting on them so that we can be demanding accountability from WAEC. And we have been doing that, and we have seen that some of our recommendations have resulted in systemic and to some level policy reform as well. We've seen political commitment from the education minister to address some of the issues that have been within the system for long. And we're also seeing administrative commitment on the part of WAEC also to strengthen their assessment system. So I believe collectively, if we all begin to show interest more in the process and demand accountability from the assessment body, WAEC for this case, I believe we'll be able to sanitize the system the more.
Now, so what happens to them now? The schools are being chosen. The children are eager to go to school. They see their mates going to school, and then they would have to wait to be scrutinized by a WAEC. First of all, you're a stakeholder in this corner. What nature does this scrutiny take?
All right. For those that have been withheld for scrutiny, at most by 2 weeks' time, they should have finished the process. Ideally, they need to invite the students or the candidates involved to hear some of them their part. So mostly we look at a period of 2 weeks. So this issue isn't anything that will actually derail their placement. This can be resolved as early as possible, and those that have gone through will be placed in secondary school accordingly. But when it comes to the results that have been cancelled, the student themselves, that's 312, they know the repercussion. They were told even before the start of the examination, their parents were equally made aware of the punitive actions that some of these irregularities attract. So it shouldn't come to them as a surprise. They were aware of it, the consequences before engaging in the irregularities. So for us, we will not sympathize with them, not at all. We believe that WAEC and their school have all over the time be sounding the alarm bell that some of these issues attract punitive actions like subject cancellation. So the only window of opportunity available for them is to rewrite either the private one or the school level next year.
Now, let's focus on what WAEC says cancelled subjects. The results of 312 school candidates and 3 private candidates for bringing foreign materials, namely prepared notes, textbooks, printed materials into the examination hall or colluding with other candidates. There were also the results of 41 school candidates and 1 private candidate that had been cancelled for the possession of mobile phones in the exam hall. And there's so many other instances. People are checked before they enter the examination halls. So how is it that these things are not found before they get in there? Shouldn't we be putting some of the liability on WAEC as well?
When it comes to assessment irregularities, to some extent, WAEC capacity is limited, especially getting external supervisors to monitor the process across all the examination centers in the country. we noticed over the years in our monitoring that where WAEC external supervisors are, or when they are present, there are limited issues of irregularities. But when they are not available, the irregularities increase. If you just want to rely on GES staff, in this case teachers, who of course also have interest in the process, if the student participates, it to their benefit. So if you rely on them just for them to monitor the process, you may not get an accurate monitoring. So there's a need for WAEC even to increase their own external supervisors so that at every center there can be WAEC appointed external supervisors, not relying on the staff of GES or having limited external supervisors. Once the person is there, it means the person cannot be at another time. We have instances where one supervisor is assigned like 3 to 4 centers. It means that the person will have to rotate in a day within these 4 centers. So while the person is there for 5 to 10 minutes, the person is leaving to another place, and we can see a thorough monitoring. So some of these issues happen because we don't have external appointed supervisors at each center. And so when they leave, yes, some of the candidates, with assistance of their teachers or the invigilators, who in this case also remain their teachers, they end up bringing some of these materials into the exam hall. And then when the external supervisor or WAEC appointed external monitor comes in, they are able to detect some of these things. So once you see the teachers and then GS staff having interest in the process, we shouldn't be surprised that some of these will continue to happen. So there's a need for us to get to that point where WAEC appoints their own external supervisors and monitor the process throughout.
What subjects are we looking at? The subjects that have been withheld, the results for which have been withheld. What are we looking at?
Okay, so these are subject results. So subject results, what it means is that you can either be in any of the subjects. It could be in DDT, it could be in English, it could be in mathematics or social studies. It could be in anything. If it were to be entire results, then we'll be looking at all the subjects that the students are taking at that level. Then we cancel. But once WAEC use the word subject result, it means that the cancellation of the 312 subject results could be any of the subjects that the students are taking at the junior high school level, and also the 41 that have been withheld. It could be any of the subjects that have been taken at that level. Right. But when they use the entire result, then it means the entire 10 to 11 subjects that the people are doing at that level have been cancelled. So once the word subject result is used, it means that it could be in any of the subjects that they are taking at that level.
So the future of these youngsters hang in the balance. If they are found culpable, what could possibly happen to them?
Yeah, already 312, they are found culpable. That's why their results have been cancelled. It is 41 that are having their results being withheld. For them, it means that their papers are still being scrutinized, and if they have gone through, that is it. If they are unable to go through, then they will also be adding up to the cancelled results. And the implication is that they can go to school this year, and they would have to wait for another opportunity next year, either to go to school to join the regular stream to register, or to sit for the private BECE. We now have private BECE as well. So if they don't want to go to school and be going to school every day, if they believe in their capacity that they can be at home and be doing personal studies, and when it's time for the next year BECE, they can register as private candidates and write. Then that's also an option available to them. So for us, the most important thing is how their parents can ensure that these students are safe throughout the 1-year period that they would have to be at home. Because, of course, once students are not engaged in school and they are at home not doing anything, they could be exposed to several forms of social vices. So it's very important that within this 1-year period to the next time of writing a BECE, the parents have the sole responsibility to ensure that their children are protected before for the next BECE where they can
I hear you.
see the right opportunity
Great.
to right now.
John Kapi is the head of public affairs at the West Africa Examinations Council. John, thank you very much indeed for your time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great. So results have been withheld. How did that happen?
Thank you and good morning to your listeners. Well, these results have been withheld because the examiners who were marking the scripts detected some infractions and decided to report them to us. And so between the time of marking, the completion of marking and the processing of results was too short for us to have investigated. That's the reason for withholding those results.
And which subjects are we talking about here?
A wide range of subjects. I mean, basically every subject, there was something wrong somewhere.
Now, again, I'm concerned about the fact that WAEC has very tight security protocols, right? From printing to the distribution of the exam papers. If you have ever sat for a WAEC exam before, which I have done twice, you would see at the entrance, there's a policeman there, there's an invigilator, they will search you before you get in there. How do the people get the foreign materials in there into the exam hall if you have all these protocols?
Right, so this is something that we're all struggling to grapple with. But then we have evidence of some teachers who infiltrate those ranks, get into the centers, and then they distribute this material across. I guess also that there may have been some form of collaboration between the teachers and the invigilators, and maybe that's the reason these things happen. We search them all right, the search that goes on, and then in the course of the examination, they will step out, probably go and free themselves, because sometimes the invigilators get overwhelmed, and some may not have conducted appropriate searches on the candidate.
The curriculum that was changed, and it's come up for conversation, the standard-based curriculum that was changed, is that the basis upon which WAEC did conduct this exam, or the exams were conducted using the old curriculum? Because some parents have raised a concern that at some point the children were confused in the schools because of the change, the lack of textbooks, etc. And then so the children had to help themselves. What does WAEC say to that?
Well, the examination this year was based on the old curriculum, and so there was nothing different from the previous year curriculum that is being used, but that was not used for the examination this year.
What happens to the children now? Hello? Hello, John? Hello, Mr. Kapi?
Come next week, some officers will be traveling across the regions, so they are going to meet with the candidates one-on-one and then present to them what we've observed and seek answers from them. And based on that, a decision will be taken as to whether to release the results or cancel them.
If the results are released, what would it mean? If they are cancelled, what would it mean?
Now, so for those whose results will be released, they have the opportunity to pursue their senior high school education. And for those whose will be cancelled, depending on whatever subject and the requirements for posting into senior high school, they may be able to continue or may have to wait and receive the examination next year.
But as we speak now, the children are selecting their schools. So will WAEC be able to conclude these investigations and scrutiny in time for them to be able to meet the deadline for the selection of secondary schools of their choice?
Certainly we can. The challenge that we have with these investigations is when the candidates fail to show up for the one-on-one interaction.
Right.
You know, it's all about evidence. We just don't cancel because somebody has reported to us about infractions. We observe them, they are worth investigating. But then if the person, the accused, so to speak, fails to show up for that interaction, then that delays the process, and then we are compelled to publish the names in the dailies to compel them to, come to us so that we can have a chat with them and then quickly finish up with the cases.
Where will this one-on-one interaction happen? Where?
Oh, it will happen between the 20 20th and 22nd of this month. As I said earlier, our officers are traveling this weekend. And so by Monday, we'll be at the various regional offices that we have, and then the interactions will take place. We are sending notice out there to invite all those involved to come and then have, this kind of interaction.
Will it be intimidating?
No, not at all. Not at all, because we are not going to have policemen. We just our own personnel, and they are allowed to come there with their teachers, guardians, or whatever. And so what happens is, I've been there before.
Right.
You invite the candidate and present the paper before them and tell them, this is what we found, and it runs through all 6 of you, for example. So can you tell us what happened? Okay, so there they respond. Some of them would readily tell you, teacher so-and-so gave this information to us to copy. Yeah, especially for BECE, some of them are so, quick to tell you, hey, this is where we got it from.
If it does appear or it does emerge that a teacher gave some information, that becomes a crime then. So then you go after the teacher?
Well, first of all, we would go after the teacher, but then the primary aim now is to determine whether we are going to release or cancel. Later on, of course, we'll look for the teacher, and then we will take appropriate action.
Is WAEC partly to blame for what is happening? And as I mentioned earlier, some of the parents have said that, look, you put in all the security protocols. If something happens, why do you want to hold the children accountable for it? What part of the blame is WAEC taking?
I wouldn't say that we can take any blame. At worst, what I can say is that whoever recommended the regulators to us would probably take the blame. I say this because when it comes to conducting examinations, especially for BECE or even for WASC, the GES provides us with teachers who do the invigilation. Now, we have not had the opportunity of having a one-on-one with them. What we do is that we educate the supervisors, and we ask that they replicate same to their invigilators. And so if there is any shortfall at all, then maybe what we can say is that the personnel recommended to us by the Education Service probably did not live up to expectation.
And in closing this conversation, the recurrence of either leaked papers or exam malpractices in the exam hall, or these situations that would necessitate the cancellation or the withholding of results are becoming one too many. When is WAEC going to perfect a system such that it will be a thing of the past? So I write my paper, I don't have to stress over it and to come for an interview and all of that. When will it be a thing of the past?
Well, it will be a thing of the past if all of us stakeholders would play our roles. WAEC takes responsibility for wherever we have had, lapses. And so for this year, we monitored every bit of whatever our operations are. And we had a foolproof system because there was nowhere that anybody reported they got questions before the commencement of examinations. Now, in the course of the conduct of the exam, we have invigilators, we have supervisors, we have opinion leaders, we have security. It's a wide range of people who are involved in this issue. And so if all of us will play our roles well, as expected, then this thing about people attempting to assist candidates in the examination hall will be a thing of the past.
My namesake, John, as I let you go, does the government owe you?
The government still owes us, yes.
How much are we talking about here?
Right now, we can't put a figure because they've made some payments in the last few weeks. And so we've got to reconcile our figures. Sometimes they'll pay some money and then it takes time for it to reflect at the Bank of Ghana before you get the cash. Then you can say, yes, I have the money. And so it would not be fair for me to put out a figure right now. But probably by the close of this week, we'll do our reconciliation and then we can tell everybody how much we've received how much is left to be, paid by the government.
John Kapi, Head of Public Affairs, WAEC, I thank you very much for your time, sir. Good morning.
Welcome. Good morning.
And we get into a conversation. William, we wanted to say something quickly, 1 minute each, guys, and then we can.
Just the fact that we should strive to find a balance between impacting knowledge and just judging people by grades. I mean, the fact that you are intelligent is okay if your grades are good, but sometimes the way we treat, if you don't pass maths and science, then you are rejected by society. So I think we should find a balance and stop, because this year's numbers are just too huge.
Yeah. You know, I was discussing this over the weekend with somebody, and this person's a headmaster. He says that so the lady now works with an airline company. She's an air hostess. She runs multiple eateries in the country. And when they were in school, she was repeated. So she came to sit in the same class with the little brother. The little brother was very sharp academically. So every time the mother says,
that kind of thing.
And the teacher said, look, each time we have home economics, practicals, by the time you see P, this lady has already set up. By the time you see P, she has finished cooking. P, she's serving everybody. And people are struggling to find tomato, to cut it, to see. But then the headmaster said, look, find her a catering school after BECE and let's see what happens. So she went in there, she found her mojo, and then she did a NVTI, she did that, upgraded, and then applied, and then now she's there. Now she earns more money than the sharp boy who was an engineer. And the mother now says, why are the mepa? But all through the time, the focus was English maths.
Check the grades of all the top businessmen. I'm not talking about those who are working for companies. Those who have established their own companies and made money for themselves. List them and check their grades. It's not about grades.
A professor told me that school going no hard. It be you, they want your first class.
We put too much emphasis on the grades. So people are always looking for ways to cheat.
A professor told me that school going no hard. It be you, they look for first class. Pass mark is 50. When I get 54, I'm okay. When I get 56, I'm okay.
It's good if you're excellent, you're making all the grades. But
we should not put people in a box.
Yeah, we have to expand the tentacles of what we think successful people look like, what constitutes success, by honing in on the interest of, we all cannot be interested in math, science, it's not possible. We're all so different strengths. So hopefully, and that's what contributes to some of what we're seeing here. By hook or by crook, they've got to find a way to get out of the system, because otherwise the future doesn't look great. So you have people going all kinds of lengths and breaks, parents even assisting their wards to get a pass mark. It doesn't indicate whether or not they can even excel when they move on.
Sad.
We are stifling the creativity.
Their talents are just hidden.
That's
and
right.
They have to cram everything into some book. Anyway,
grades,
38 minutes after 9. There's a conversation coming. You'll love it. As a sequel to our conversation on your kidneys and your liver. And we do know that one of the comorbidities that could push you to an early grave is diabetes. Listen to Keche.